the Fake Baseball Podcast is brought to you by SalaryCapSports.com. Enjoy fantasy baseball and want to give a new format a try? SalaryCapSports.com has got you covered. It's free and you can win cash prizes. You start with $50 million. You build a roster based on players. Each player has a different aggregated dollar amount, and you build the best team you can with that $50 million, and you're competing against a bunch of other people throughout the year. You score points, win prizes at the end. And it's kind of cool because player values fluctuate up and down throughout the year based on how much a player is bought and sold. The more they're sold, more expensive they are, yada, yada, yada. It is an absolute blast. And building your team is actually kind of hard, which is my favorite part. I really struggled my way through with the $50 million. You got to kind of dig deep to put together a competitive team. So it's going to be a ton of fun. Sign up now and play for free at SalaryCapSports.com. You don't want to miss out on those free cash prizes. What is up, everybody? It is the boys back again. We only did one show last week, but it's all good. We talked about that. My voice was gone. My voice is here this week. I'm on vacation from the day job, and I am here chilling with Dylan. How you doing today, Dylan?
Looks like we're going to have some fun today, man. I like what we got on our screen. And those who are just listening to audio, we're going to hop into a mock draft because we got a draft coming up on Monday. Separate leagues, but same type of deal. It's a big thing. But I thought it would be a good idea to kind of run through this since we both have the 9 pick. So let's do it.
Yeah, today is TGFBI League finalization day, I guess you could call it. It is the day that all of us that applied to be in TGFBI and were lucky enough to get in. That is the Great Fantasy Baseball Invitational. All 400 or so of us that were lucky enough to get in, we got our leagues assigned today and our draft picks assigned. A real who's who in every league of players. I know my league has some really tough guys. Yancey, I see you. I don't know if you're watching this or not, but you'll probably see it at some point. We were in the DMs earlier talking about the competition in our league. Dylan has quite the league going against Greg Jewett, Michael Govier, Paul Sporer. So that's going to be a fun one for Dylan. And we figured that since we have such tough leagues coming up for the both of us, and somehow we both have the 9 spot in each of our leagues, why not capitalize?
Are you bummed out by that?
On that? By the 9 spot?
Yeah.
No, actually. I had number 1 overall pick in my league last year. And I took Acuna, obviously. I'm not bummed by the 9 spot because I will say I have kind of like a combo of players I haven't drafted together yet, but I'm toying with the idea of doing it. And the 9 spot is where I've got to be to do that. Just to put it all out there, that combo is I would love to take.
Spot? It's looking like the sweet spot.
It might be because I would really love to take like Aaron Judge in round 1 and Matt Olson round 2. Because that's essentially 90 home runs next year, 200 RBI, 200 runs scored, and probably like a 280 batting average combined. Granted, they got to stay healthy, but that feels like an elite power combo. But before we start, one thing I want to give a shout out to, I am now part of the Fantasy Pros affiliate program, which is pretty awesome. I have all kinds of links and things that if you guys click and choose to sign up for a premium account through Fantasy Pros, which I think right now it's only $4 a month, get you unlimited resources for all of your fantasy baseball and fantasy football and fantasy everything needs. Get you my premium articles and the premium articles of other people out there. And I actually have a link for this mock draft simulator from Fantasy Pros. It is in the description. If you were watching this on Facebook or YouTube, you can always hit me up and I can hit you with the link as well. So you are able to do this because I will say this mock draft simulator from Fantasy Pros is probably the best mock draft simulator in the entire industry. It is so much fun to use. I spent so much time on here. So Dylan, let's hop into it.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
I want to get your thoughts on kind of the guys that have gone already. So far, for those listening on audio, you'll get to run through the names. We are pick 9. So the first 8 picks that have gone would be Acuna, Bobby Witt Jr., J-Rod, Corbin Carroll, Kyle Tucker, Mookie, Tatis, and Freddie Freeman.
I think
And it
it's
says our
kind
best
of
available guys right
yeah.
now, the ones that suggest. It would be Aaron Judge, Spencer Strider, Juan Soto, and Shohei. Are you leaning towards anybody in particular right here? Like, is there one that you like more than the rest?
Definitely want one of the Yankees. I know Shohei's down there too, but he's just going to be a DH guy this year. I was literally just thinking about this as I saw the two names stacked up on top of each other. I don't want any part of Strider with my first pick. Aaron Judge has had, and you were saying, granted, Matt Olson and Aaron Judge stay healthy. Aaron Judge has had a tougher time staying healthy. Juan Soto's been in the lineup in a new park. He should be able to kill the right field wall at Yankee. Is it crazy to take Soto over Judge at this point?
I don't think it's crazy. Personally, I lean slightly more towards Judge. But
I
think
think
in
I'm
my
still
rankings,
there.
I have them 7 and 8.
It's a lot closer than I thought.
I mean, Aaron Judge did just come out and say that toe that really messed with them last year is not 100%. And it's going to be something that is going to essentially bother him for the rest of the year. So that's not great. Juan Soto injury free. It's not. So if you want to go Soto here, I'm all for going Soto because I had them like 6 and 7 in my rankings, or 7 and 8. So they're very close.
They're going. Yeah, I mean, for just insurance and security reasons, I think Soto just what you're going to get. The ceiling might be a tick higher with Judge, but are you actually going to hit what you're going to get from Soto with Judge? Because you know what you're going to get from him. I'm down with Soto, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter to me. What are you feeling?
Let's do it. Let's rock Soto. We'll go Soto for the first pick. It's thinking. A wrap back around to us. And when it gets back to us, we have the top available guys that it suggests would be Rafael Devers, Marcus Semien, Ozzie Albies, or Pete Alonso. Also in the mix would be like a Corbin Burns, Zach Wheeler, or Vladdy, if we wanted to kind of go more pitcher right now. Personally, I love Devers with this pick.
I agree.
I'm close with Semien, but I love Devers because I think the output in a non-OBP league, like this is an average league, not an OBP league. I think Devers and Soto can be very similar. And so to get that output from both of our first two projected picks, I think would be
we're in agreement.
great. So I'm leaning towards Devers.
I'd grab Devers here as well.
And right before us, Francisco Lindor and Austin Riley both went. I would have absolutely loved if Austin Riley was still here. Yep. Yeah. I'm a little nervous with Corey, though, because his injury that he's got going. But
yeah,
I don't think it's going to affect him too much for the outcome of the season. But for draft day, definitely affects him a little bit. Okay, so the picks that went right before us would be Zach Gallen, Gunnar Henderson, and Luis Castillo. The players that is suggesting would be Bo Bichette, Jose Altuve, Adolis Garcia, and Tariq Skubal. It's got our first pitcher suggestion.
That was
a few other guys outside of that. Skubal?
No, just starting pitching
on the side. Like... I do like that for this round because we need nine pitchers.
I appreciate the suggestions, but honestly, rarely do I ever go off it. But I mean, I go off my own feel, my own judgment. So I'll hit the draft board and see who's available because there may be guys that I view higher than Skubal because I don't know. It may be the time to go pitching. It's a bummer that Luis just went, but how far off is our boy Kirby going to be off of Luis this year?
I'm going to be honest. Not that far, and Kirby is still available. The top available pitchers would be George Kirby, Tyler Glasnow, Tariq Skubal, Aaron Nola, and Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Love saying that name. Such a
why are they suggesting Skubal over Kirby then?
It seems to like Skubal more for the strikeouts. Because if you look on the thing here, it'll have the percent of experts that agree with the pick, and then it kind of has their stats underneath their player picture, each green section means that is essentially the best option for that category. Like gives you a bump in that category. Strikeouts would probably be what I'm thinking for Scooble, but I like Kirby here. Not to be a homer, I genuinely think Kirby has a chance at a top 10 pitcher. So, yep. We going with the homer pick, but it's a smart homer pick, so we'll allow it.
I mean, yeah, but I would have been taking.
Who do you
Luis
think does better this year, Luis Castillo or George Kirby?
Yeah, it's tough.
That's true. Who do you think does better this year, Luis Castillo or George Kirby?
I'll probably still lean with Luis. It's crazy because Kirby hates walking guys. Everybody knows that. He has like a legit hatred towards it. But he could be better served just pitching outside the zone a tad more. His strikeout numbers can go up just that much more. That's really all he's missing is just adding up those Ks. So I don't think it's a thing that we can expect just because he doesn't want to get close to ball 4. But who knows? But yeah, like I'll take Luis just because of the strikeouts.
Yeah, I'm in agreement there, because especially in like a roto league where it does factor in strikeouts pretty heavily. Somebody like a Luis Castillo that's probably going to strike out 200 batters this year, I do tend to give him a little more. Although George Kirby did come out and say he really wants to throw that curveball this year, or not the curveball. He wants to
make the knuck, the
knuckleball. And I know we had Nick Pollock on here, and he said absolutely not. Do not let Kirby throw a knuckleball this year.
You have been
Kirby seems pretty dead set to mix it in. It's probably going to be like a 2% usage rate. I was 50 of them this year total, and it may not go well, but it's going to be fun to watch. Just see him sprinkle a few in, especially he's more likely to do it in spring training rather than regular season. But we'll take that. All right, next round up. I know who I like just right out the gate. The suggestions would be Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Logan Webb, Framber Valdez, or Edwin Diaz.
So you like pitching again?
The best available outside of that? Yeah, I think so, but I'm torn because, I mean, it's going to be a while till it gets back to us, and we don't have a closer yet.
Got you.
This is
that's where we gotta.
I get like a quick trigger finger a little bit on closers right around this round.
Okay.
So especially,
and that's something I've never had to consider. My biggest downfall in
TGFBI last year. Yeah, and that's what screwed me last year. Like I thought, you know what? Like I never really go closer heavy in drafts. Not that I go closer heavy now, but I was very not focused on closers last year, and that was my entire downfall. I spent so many draft picks later on in the draft trying to get a closer. None of it worked. I spent so much of my fab budget trying to chase saves last year, which screwed me because that didn't work out either.
So,
no.
What closers are left then? Like, I mean, Edwin's right there. He's coming off injury. I'd imagine
as
the big.
It looks like all of them
still there. Wow. Okay.
Haters there. Class A still there as well. So.
Is Diaz your first option?
Yeah. Hader has been my first option. They're all fairly close though. But if it was you, where are you leaning? Are you leaning close right now or?
Well, I mean, okay. So if everybody's still available, we don't pick for a while. I mean, this is what I don't know. Like, are elite closers that important? And if it is, let's do it. But
I think
if we're going to do it, Diaz is not my guy. It's probably Hader just because he's on the best team of that bunch, and he'll have more opportunities to close out games.
Yeah, we'll rock with Hader. I think that's the move. I do agree because we have a while till it gets back to us. All of these guys will be gone by the time it gets back to us. So
yeah, let's do Hader.
It's a little early. If you wanted to take somebody like Yamamoto right now, I think Yamamoto is a great pick right now. But for
take
roster
Yamamoto
construction wise,
Valdez,
I would. I like the upside more for a Yamamoto.
All
right. So we took Hader.
Because out of the starters there, I probably would have snagged Valdez.
Framber Valdez is great too. I have him slightly lower than Yamamoto in my rankings. All right, so back at it again. The suggested players would be Kodai Senga, Christian Yelich, Zach Eflin, or Alex Bregman. Right
Just want to
now,
peek at the
we
roster real quick,
have,
see what we have in. Yep.
yes, sir, we got a third base, an outfield, and a couple of pitchers. I don't hate going outfield here because we got to start 5 and it can get thin quick.
And I do not want any part of
But we've
Senga
also
right now.
got, the arm fatigue scares me a little bit. Eflin's okay. He doesn't excite me. If we want to go, freaking Edwin Diaz is still there. If we want to go closer. I don't think we should go closer.
No.
I think we should go elsewhere. O'Neal Cruz is still available if we
Round
want to kind of an
5.
all-around productive guy. Brian
I
Reynolds.
mean, this
Christian
is kind
Yelich
of his
is great.
range, I remember.
It is. So we can go like an O'Neal Cruz and get like an all-around guy. Alex Bregman is going to be the boring.
No, I don't
Boring
want
but
Bregman.
good
No.
pick.
Bregman will not be on any part of any team of mine ever, even if it's a fictional one.
For me,
So
it
what
comes down
outfielders
to
are
Yelich
left?
or
Yeah, what outfielders
Yelich.
are out there?
For outfield, we got Yelich. A little bit
Speed to
farther
the
down,
Ryan.
Brian Reynolds, and then after that, it goes for a while
It's
until
slim.
we get to Castellanos. So
Yeah, Yelich is the move. You Yelich
Yep.
over Brian?
yeah, I'm Yelich over
All right.
Brian's. I love the
Yeah,
steals
let's do
there.
it. Yep.
And I like that pick too, because if you can lock down a really good outfield 1 and outfield 2, then when you get to outfield 3, you can kind of pick and choose your spots at that point when you want to fill out the rest of the outfielders. But locking down 2 when you need 5 and there's going to be a ton drafted is important. Oh, boy.
Luzardo.
All right, so I was just going to say the guys that just went before us, a little bit of a pitcher run here. It went Camilo Duvall, Zach Eflin, Joe Ryan, Cole Reagans, and Bobby Miller.
Scroll down, your boy's still there too.
Justin Steele. See?
Yeah.
I'm full on the Luzardo train this year.
Luzardo?
I'm on the Luzardo train this year. I like
Yep.
it. We got to go Luzardo. He's going to be so good. And even if he gets traded somewhere else, he could have a Pablo Lopez type year if he gets traded from Miami to literally anywhere.
Here, right? Or is it a long wait? No, it's a long.
That was a quick one. That was the quick one.
Quick turn.
Next will be the long one.
I like.
Yep.
So we got.
We got
catchers as well, right?
Yep. Ketel Marte, Justin Steele, Joe Musgrove, and Sonny Gray is the suggested players. Outside of that, Raisel Iglesias is still available. Kyle Bradish, who I'm going to stay away from in every draft this year. Castellanos is there. Spencer Torkelson for a little bit of pop.
What's his projections? Yeah, like that could be some.
Torque, I think it's about if we look right here, 30 bombs, 87 ribbies, hitting 243. Like that's a lot of pop there. I like that. He had a hell of a year last year. We got a few other guys. Evan Carter.
Yeah. I was about to say, or you could get
Jordan Walker.
Encarnacion Strand a little bit later too. I wouldn't mind that.
Yep, I like waiting on that for Encarnacion Strand.
Ketel?
I like Ketel. He's one of the few top second basemen left. And he's going to give us a little bit of everything. And Arizona's a good place to hit. So I like it. We'll go Ketel. We'll lock down second base, then position. Especially waiting till the 7th round to get like a top tier second baseman is great. Especially
there goes Strand. Shit.
Strand went 4 picks before our next pick. It went Christian Encarnacion Strand. I want to see that last name on the back of these new jerseys. George Springer, Rice Iglesias. Smart. And Jordan Walker. I saw
some of them
Twitter
are going
earlier,
down
like wraparound.
hip to hip. It's crazy.
Next best available, or I guess not
Torkelson's still there, so it's not horrible.
True. Oh, Justin Steele, Joe
Lane
Musgrove, Sonny Gray, Josh
Thomas.
Taylor. Your boy Lane Thomas is available. You would definitely take Lane right here, right? Or would you wait to see if he's still available?
I mean, locking down Steele this late would not be bad, but third outfield, Lane. But man, you could have one hell of a rotation if you add Steele as a 4th starter. No, Hader's not a starter, so your 3rd starter. My bad.
So it'd be our 3rd starter.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be a bad 3rd starter. If we scroll down a little bit, Sonny Gray could potentially still be available if we wait. But then, I mean, Chris Bassett is next after that. Hunter Green, who's adding a splitter, which
I like
could be
Green.
interesting this year. I like Green as well. So should we go Justin Steele on this one?
Yeah.
Lock in, because that'll be a decent amount of strikeouts. Decent whip. Whip is also one of the categories, and
We just gotta
win
cross
12 to
our
15.
fingers for Lane. Shit.
He's still there.
No,
That's the question. He is not still there. Lane Thomas is gone. Suggested players would be Pete Fairbanks, the closer for Tampa Bay, Chris Bassett, Chris Sale, and Shane Bieber, who actually upped his velocity this offseason. He'll be an interesting one. And then outside of that, guys that didn't get named that are still available: Andres Munoz, Ryan Helsley, Zach Geloff, Evan Phillips, Ian Happ. I'm going to be honest. I love the idea of taking a second closer here.
Yeah, seems like a good spot for it.
We took the elite one early, and now we're round 9. So getting ourselves another closer in round 9 that's going to get us like 30 saves. Yeah. Great.
Let's look at the squad real quick. I know that's where you want to go. Just my brain's spinning a little bit. Okay, so
we got second base, third base, 2 outfield, 3
doing
starters,
really good
and then
pitching.
A closer. We are. I think if we get another closer here, we're good enough at analyzing pitchers. Yeah, we can kind of pick and choose pitchers later on that we think have some upside there. Like we can pick a strikeout guy, we can pick a whip guy, like all that. So yeah, it just comes down to do we want to go with Fairbanks, who's closing for Tampa Bay and a better team, or do we want to go for Andres Munoz, who is going to be similar? Like if we click on relief pitchers, Fairbanks is projected to save 29, Munoz 26, Helsley still available, projected 27, Evan Phillips at 29. Where are you leaning in this one?
Do you like Fairbanks more than Munoz? 3 ERA kind of seems a little high for Mooney.
I think Tampa Bay wins more games than Seattle this year. So I think there's more of a chance for him to get more saves just based off of that. But I don't hate the Munoz pick. I mean, of this, Munoz is the one that experts suggest the most, which is odd from the fact that overall this says Fairbanks. We taking our boy Andres Munoz.
Saves doesn't look like it's that much of a difference. And I definitely think Munoz will have more strikeouts.
Yeah, I think Munoz for sure gets him in strikeouts. Then it comes back around to us again in the 10th round. Suggested players will be Evan Phillips, Shane Bieber, Clay Holmes, Chris Sale. I'm going to count probably all 4 of those out right now. I kind of want to bat.
I'm looking, I was looking at Volpe or Yoshida were kind of the first 2 that I noticed.
I like that. Available bats: Ian Happ, Anthony Volpe, TJ Friedel, Riley Green, Marcelo Zuna, Jorge Soler, and Masataka Yoshida. I have been big on Anthony Volpe this year. I haven't been writing about him to suggest him to anybody. I'm not holding back that opinion by any means. I just haven't had a chance to write about him. But I do like the upside for Anthony Volpe this year.
Yeah, we don't have a shortstop yet.
And we don't know. Volpe's probably going to bat towards the bottom of the lineup to start the year. DJ LeMahieu is who's rumored to be leading off. I think by the end of the year, Volpe is leading off.
Volpe's definitely got a shot to take that, yeah.
And imagine Volpe leading off ahead of Aaron Judge and Juan Soto and Giancarlo Stanton and Anthony Rizzo. There's a lot of run scoring ability there. He went 20-20 last year. I like it. It's a good all-around pick. He might hurt the batting average a little bit, but he's just a really good all-around pick for the squad.
So I swear then it would just be
there we go.
First base, outfield 3, right? Oh, catchers. No catchers yet.
Yep. I'm glad you said that. This might be the time for us to take a catcher because you got to start 2. We need 2 catchers, a first baseman, a corner, a middle infield, and 3 outfielders. Handful of pitchers. I mean, he's suggesting like Tyro Estrada, Kenley Jansen, Chris Sale, Carlos Rodon. Really wants us to take Chris Sale. I don't hate him this year. I just need to see that the boy can stay healthy. But on the side over here, we got Sean Murphy. As the top available guy. Wilson Contreras is also
I
up
think
there.
he bounces back this year.
Sean Murphy?
No, I'm sorry, Contreras. I think he has a better season
Contreras.
than last. Yeah.
I think so too, because his first half of the season was so bad last year that I was recommending he could be dropped. The second half of the season he put together was absolutely insane. He hit like
His old
360 in the second half or
yeah.
something nuts.
Well, better than his
I
old
love
self,
that.
but a player we're
Yep.
familiar with.
Yep. Here we go.
Yeah, I
So
don't hate Contreras.
I took Contreras. I like that.
Yeah.
Good,
Yeah.
solid first catcher. And then we can try and get a second catcher later. Like right now, it's going to be the
Ooh,
12th round,
Kybert just went.
maybe like round 18.
Gabriel there.
Here we go. So the suggested players now in round
Still
number
pitch.
12: Jose Barrios, Adbert, Alzolay, Hunter Brown, Yu Darvish. And then on the side here, we got Max Muncy, James Outman, Chas McCormick, Jake Berger, Gabriel Moreno. We just took a catcher. I'm not going to recommend taking back-to-back catchers. If you want to, I get it. Moreno and Wilson Contreras, great stack, but I feel it. But that's not where I would go for me. Also, Nathaniel Lowe. I like Outman
Jackson Holiday just went. Oh, look at that.
Did he? Oh, he did right before us.
So how do you
right before us was Jackson Holiday? Before that was
is
Carlos
that too
Rodon,
early or
Jarren Duran,
too late
Michael
for you?
King.
For Jackson,
I like him right there. 12th round Jackson Holiday. I like that. I think there's a legitimate shot he makes it out of spring training, and if not, he's going to be called up by the end of April.
That boy's ready.
So you're saying you
I like
Outman right now?
I like the ceiling on Outman. I think over everybody
right now they got
here,
him projected 20 home runs. Yeah,
like it's kind of the same thing with Volpe. He's going to hurt the average a little bit, but in that lineup, like he's gonna have a chance to hit.
Yeah, and 20 home runs. He has probably 20 stolen base upside, so 20 potential. Could score 80, 85,
he steals
90
more
runs.
than 11 bags. He steals more than 11 bags.
I agree on this one. You're not leaning McCormick at all?
I would rather have Outman.
All right, we'll go Outman. Outman in the 12th round makes a very good third outfielder. I'm loving our draft so far. I'm not going to lie.
Looks pretty solid.
I'm really, really, really liking our draft so far.
Large.
Experts rank Jangs Outman at 157. We drafted him at 172. Great value pick, according to the draft simulator. Now, I wasn't expecting this. Now, so all these outfielders, these top three, I love all of them. I don't think those are suggested players. I caught myself off guard. The suggested overall players: Key Brian Hayes, Nathaniel Lowe,
I like
Yu Darvish,
Lowe too.
Eduardo Rodriguez. I like him. He's such a boring player.
He's boring, but we're in round 13 without a first baseman. What more do you want? We waited this long. I mean, we're kind of out of options.
I think we got to take him.
Who else is left? Like, I know it says top, but like
Ryan Mountcastle, Jeremy Candelario, Andrew Butler, nobody. So Nathaniel Lowe.
Yeah. I mean, I would be pretty worried about waiting on one of those other guys.
Yeah. So 13th round first base looks like probably as late as you want to wait, and even then, according to the mock draft simulator, we got about a steal.
And that's what you do at this part of the draft. Like that's what you
focus in on these steals, which is important. This also starts to become the time when I look less at. I mean, on the mock draft simulator, not in a normal draft, but in the mock draft simulator, I start to look less at the suggested players and more at the who's available on the side.
You got to fill the rest.
Right now, it's suggesting Ezequiel Tovar, Eduardo Rodriguez, Starling Marte, and Carlos Correa. I don't honestly want any of them this year in any draft. They don't excite me too much.
I'm taking Mars, taking Jonah Heim, taking any of those guys over these suggested players.
Christopher Morel, Trevor Story also still available. What's our roster looking like? I don't hate Gorman. Gordon is a high home run middle infielder would be good with this build that we've got, especially like with Soto and Devers on there. We don't have another bigger home run guy outside of them, so I think taking someone like
you're going to have the K's, but he'll put it over.
That brings us home. Yes, he will. Let's see.
You got comments.
What up, everybody?
Pick and choose.
I see y'all. I'm just slow. Oh, okay. So Nolan Gorman was another value pick. We're getting some steals right here. Love to see it. Our boy is there. This also becomes like a lot of like Mariners picks start to look like Homer picks, obviously.
I don't care.
But Brian Wu is available. I'm here for it. I think Brian Wu has a ton of upside. And 15th round Brian Wu is where he's going very, 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 very consistently. I love 15th round Brian Wu. There's so much upside there. We're taking him. I'm not even going to ask because I already know the answer from you. That's the one right there. Every pick is a value pick at this point. Let's go. Okay. So the guys that just went right before us would be Stevenson, Mountcastle, Matt Chapman, James Wood. James Wood's an interesting one to go ahead of us. Best available currently: Carlos Correa, Gurriel Jr., Jeremy Pena, Byron Buxton, Andrew Vaughn. A lot of outfielders and shortstops.
I mean, that was the one. Yeah, I mean, we're good on shortstop and middle now, but Pena's still sticking around. Who would have thought that this time last year?
Yeah, he was going pretty early. I had him as the top 10 shortstop last year going into the season. I'm not gonna lie. That was
JP going at the top of the round. Future Mariner Matt Chapman going a couple picks after that.
Do we want to take a fourth outfielder right now? With like I'm
kind of
Starling Marte.
Yeah, I was about to say
Gurriel, maybe.
I saw a
Gurriel
meme
projected
about
16 dingers, 70 ribbies.
Day.
Did you? I like.
Yeah, I was like, if you want this, you get him. You know, power, speed, blah blah blah. But if you want none of it, you get Jack Sawinski. It's like, damn, that's a stray.
Cold. But it's not wrong though.
Yeah, he's all right. He's not horrible. I don't think.
Do we go?
We need another outfielder.
Would you like Sawinski here over Gurriel?
And that's a lot of bombs, but we need average too. We need hits. We need to stay away from the strikeouts. We have a lot of the higher home run projections, but with those guys come the strikeouts. If you want another one of those guys and just go in on the bombs, I think Sawinski's the move. But if you just want your 1.5 or 2 points, I think Gurriel's the guy. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Gurriel too. Yeah. I like it. Like that lineup out there in Arizona. We already got Marte, so not that I really stack players in fantasy, especially not 16th round picks, but I think having him and Marte in our lineup combined will be really good.
Yeah.
Next available. That's outfield. Let's check the suggestion. So the guys that went right before us, a real who's who of names right now. Aaron Savali, Taylor Ward, Nick Lodolo, Jeremy Pena finally went. Logan Allen went as well. Best available: Andrew Vaughn, Michael Garcia, Reed Detmers, Mason Miller. I'm going to be honest. I love Michael Garcia in 2024. I think he hits higher than the 266 average. I think he steals 30 bases, not 21. And he doesn't have a ton of home run ability.
We got.
Yeah. I think he would round out the steals, but he hits the ball so hard. Like I think his average exit velocity is like 90 miles an hour, 91 miles an hour. He makes really hard contact, just not high home run numbers. Kind of like a Yandy Diaz coming into 2023, hitting like 10 home runs, but with a 93 mile an hour average exit velocity. Very similar with Michael Garcia, but Garcia is faster. So I like it. I think he can outperform all of that.
All right. Yeah.
And I think that's a great pick. And it gets us a good I think we also need a corner infield.
We need another corner, yeah.
Yep, corner infield. So he locks that down for us, gives us another good steals guy to go with Volpe, to go with Yelich, to go with Outman. So that really our team is really rounding itself in. It's been a while since we took a pitcher, hasn't it? No, we just took Brian Wu.
So we got our two closers. Are we just trying to fill it the rest with starters?
Maybe if we can sneak one more. Like I don't hate Mason Miller here. If we want to go closer, he's not gonna save a ton of games because he pitches for the Oakland A's who suck.
Yeah,
but he's gonna strike out a bunch. Is there a good catcher available right now? Let me see who the best catchers available are right now. Tyler Stevenson, Elias Diaz, Danny Jansen, Alejandro Kirk. I don't hate Danny
Wouldn't hate
Jansen. I don't want to take
wouldn't
him
hate
right now, but
wouldn't hate Stevenson either.
so yeah, Stevenson's good average guy. Um, outside of that, right now, it's highly suggesting Andrew Vaughn for us. He would be our util. I don't know
Another
if I want
boring
Andrew
guy.
Vaughn as our utility. Yeah. Then we got Josh Bell, Jose Abreu, Suarez, Anthony Rizzo, Brian Bayo,
Man,
Ryobi,
who
Tavares.
you seen how small Giancarlo looks right now?
I have, and I love it. I was just gonna say he has been kind of my favorite later round power target, just because you're gonna get 30 dingers from him. Probably not much else, but you're gonna get 30 plus home runs for him, and he is such a simple plug and play 18th round bomber. So I like that pick. He would be our utility, which I mean I'm okay if we had to take a utility. Oh, look at that, he could be our outfielder too. Actually, if we got to take a utility guy at some point, I'm cool with it being someone that's just gonna hit absolute dingers.
Right,
but Stanton has outfield eligibility. I like Stanton. That's my call. Giancarlo Stanton on the squad. Next up, we have. Says we reached a little on Stanton, but you know what? Don't care. Sometimes you got to reach. Sometimes you get steals. Sometimes you got to reach. The suggested players right now would be Jose Abreu, Yusei Kikuchi, former Mariner, Marcus Stroman, and Leody Tavares. A lot of similar names on the side. So Josh Bell, Jose Abreu, Gino's still there, Rizzo. Is there anybody that's sticking out to you? I know Tyler Stevenson's right here. I know we both just mentioned Tyler Stevenson.
Yeah.
We do need.
I like Gavin Lux as just a player in general, but he has multi-position versatility. I always like that. Not many guys looking like they do. Plug him in middle infield, second base, in the outfield. That's a true utility. Yeah. I just don't know how you feel about him. I like him as a player, though.
I think he could be like a post-hype breakout. The only thing that worries me is I think both his power and speed are both limited. So he's going to be like a 7 home run, 9 stolen base guy. A lot of runs, which will be cool. But I don't know if I want to fill our utility up with a guy that's essentially going to get us runs.
Mm-hmm.
We got other people like Jake Fraley's going to get 10 or 15 home runs and stolen bases this year. Like somebody like that I like. Taking another pitcher right now is cool. Who we got? I definitely don't want Kikuchi.
I think Zach Neto's going to have a good year.
Oh, I love Zach Neto. I just wrote him up in my must-have players for 2024, my article over at Fantasy Pros. Go check that out. Zach Neto was, I think, the first person on my list. So I'm big on Zach Neto. Is that who we're feeling right now? Are we feeling our util spot or are we going pitcher?
What does Zach Neto bring to the utility spot then? What's his projections look like? I just think he's going to have a
home
big
runs,
year.
66 ribbies, 249.
20 bombs. Yeah, I like that.
I like that as well. And I think that's probably the high end of his home run power. Stolen bases, he can go double digits. The thing with Zach
he's going to
Neto
play shortstop every day.
Yep. And he had a great start to the year last year when he got called up for a large portion of his. I mean, he played like 56 games or something. So it was like 30 games. His first 30 games was great. And then he dealt with a bunch of injuries kind of all at the same time. And he tried to play through them for a bit and then would go on the IL and then try and play through them. And it really just messed with his end of the year numbers. There's a lot of upside there for Neto.
And I think it's a good safety net, too, to have behind Volpe if his K number just, stays the same or increases.
I completely agree.
Stevenson's still there, pitcher.
I'm leaning Stevenson right now because I think if we lock down a second catcher, this is a great time to lock down a second catcher. That's the only hitter we still need. And then we need 3 pitchers, and then we go to the bench. So we feeling why am I drawing about? We feeling Stevenson?
Yeah. Let's just do it and get it taken care of.
Stevenson playing at Great American Ballpark, which love a guy playing at Great American Ballpark. It suggested Matt Brash. I'm not taking Matt Brash. No offense, Matt Brash. I love you. Not taking you in a non-holds league. Guys that went right before our current
Henry
pick
Davis
in the
outfield.
21st round.
I
That
did
would
not
be
know
Pete
that.
Crow, Armstrong, Reese Olson, Seth Lugo, Gavin Lux, who we talked about. Henry Davis outfield. He is outfield, but he's working as a catcher as well this year. The
I'll
plan is
say
for him
he
to play
was
catcher.
drafted as a catcher. If I'm thinking of the right guy,
Yeah, you are.
first overall
and the
pick,
plan
right?
is for him to work in there as I don't know if he might have been first overall or top 3 pick.
Yeah, he
Very
was
high pick in the first round.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So what are we feeling? We got to be feeling pitcher right now, right? I don't want to take a bench bat at the moment. So starting pitcher, Cutter Crawford.
Ooh, Cutter. Yeah.
That feels like an easy pick. I didn't know he was still available. I think he's gonna pitch very well this year. It's coming back around to
Edward,
us.
MLB the 21 show GOAT.
Edward Cabrera. Dude, if he could not walk people, he'd be so good. Just strikes people out like crazy. He has like a freaking 13% or 14% or 15% walk rate, which is insane.
Yeah. Can't live with it.
But pitching wise, he's kind of the best available. But see, yeah.
But what if he figures it out? Like, that's the thing you kind of cross your fingers for at this point. I mean, if he does figure it out, look at what you got at pick 322.
That's a good point. I think we go Edward Cabrera, and if Hunter Harvey is still here when it comes back around, I think our picks need to go. Edward
Bautista's
right
not
now.
making it.
No,
Bautista's not. So Cano, is he going to hold it down for the Orioles?
No, it's gonna be somebody else. I don't remember who it is off the top of my head. It's gonna be somebody else. It's not gonna be Cano. They're pretty set with him being like a setup man.
7-8.
So we'll draft Edward Cabrera. But Hunter Harvey has a realistic chance at taking over the Nationals closing job probably by the All-Star break. And so to get somebody like that, like we need one more sneaky steals guy, or not steals, sneaky saves guy on our roster. He's still there. And I think pairing him with Munoz and Hader, I think that ends up being a good pick there. So we'll snag Hunter Harvey. It really wants us to take Charlie Blackmon. No offense to him in that beard. We don't need him right now. All right. Now, suggested would be for the 24th round would be Luke Raley.
Now it's just
Charlie
filling
Blackmon.
out what we don't have.
Essentially, yeah. I think we might need one pitcher still. Do we need one pitcher still? Nope. So we're just bench right now. I heard Manzardo might not start the year with the club. He's trending towards starting in AAA, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I don't like that. I was really expecting him to start opening day, so that becomes interesting. But right now,
be a bad stash.
Best available.
Start out the year.
Manzardo, he wouldn't. He might still be available on our wraparound.
Yeah, I'd be
like right now. Wallner is such a good pick, but I think Wallner will still be available as well. Jock Peterson in Arizona gets interesting because balls travel pretty well there.
Especially for what about McCarthy's projections?
Ooh, that's a good call because he's a big speed guy.
Yeah.
They're only projecting 188 at bats for McCarthy.
Yeah, that's a big cut.
That's tough.
Yeah,
Joey Meneses, Hanny's there. I like Jock too. I think Jock's the move here. It gives us some home run upside. He hits for an okay average too, which helps. Especially 24th round. You're really looking for upside in a stat with like a stable second stat. Okay, so in the 25th round, our best available would be, or suggested would be Ranger Suarez, Dean Kremer, Nolan Shanuel, and Yan Gomes. I would not suggest carrying a third catcher in TGFBI. You really only need two. Don't waste a roster spot on a third catcher. But I mean, Manzardo's still here. If you like Manzardo,
let's just stash him. I just want to stash him. These other names don't interest me as much as the idea of stashing Manzardo does.
I like that because if when he gets called up, I think there's going to be a lot of upside there for him. So I do like that pick, especially these are our bench players. So these are guys that you're drafting now to hope and a prayer that they can give you some kind of output if you need to put them in. Right now, I'm going to lean Ranger Suarez right here.
Yeah, he's a popular pick
me.
amongst a lot of people I've noticed. I'm just curious, what is Ahmad Rosario's projections? Because I felt like the Tampa Bay Rays absolutely robbed him.
They did
1.5 mil for that's damn near the signing of the offseason.
Yep. And I mean, he was a driveline guy too, and we've seen the power that driveline guys
that
put
one up. Man, I would have. Right, we got Polanco now, but man, 1.5 mil. What were other teams thinking?
That is a steal. I'm gonna draft Ranger Suarez, but
that's fine.
I agree. They need a middle infielder out there too. So I think that
someone is going to be missing
really
there
well
next season.
And for fantasy purposes as well.
Yeah.
Then Rosario's still there. I don't hate taking Rosario. Second base and shortstop, so we can plug him in second base, shortstop, or middle infield at some point if we need him. Ton of upside. I like the pick a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to go Rosario. When picking bench spots, obviously I like to go with just straight upside, and then I also like to make sure I have an outfielder. I like to make sure I have a corner infielder and a middle infielder and a pitcher, and then I like to kind of plug in a couple extra pitchers in there with it, just so you can kind of play matchups and stuff throughout the week. TGFBI is a weekly league, so you do not set your lineup daily. You set it weekly. So having a couple extra pitchers stashed on your bench to play some of those matchups to get some 2-start guys in there can be
now
big.
We could just really get whatever we want. We've done a good job filling up the depth. I feel like now we kind of have the freedom to do whatever.
Best available, Michael Conforto, Oscar Gonzalez, Harold Ramirez. We're not taking a DH as a bench player. Same with Jesse Winker. Can't do it. CJ Crone isn't even on a team. Daniel Bard, Harrison Bader. There's not going to be anybody that's going to blow your socks off. Pause. I should have thought that through. Michael Conforto could be a decent pick this year. Same thing, power upside, which is cool. Adam Duvall as well. If you think he signs with somebody soon and you like the home run upside there, I think Adam Duvall could be.
He gets hot 1 or 2 times a year, and he'll win you a game or two just by himself.
Yeah, and he hit for a decent average last year too. So I don't hate Adam Duvall right here in the 28th round. I think a 28th round Adam Duvall is a pretty good pick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a free agent, but he'll find himself somewhere eventually, just like these other guys will.
Yeah, he'll be on a team by opening day. And then it's kind of our suggested guys now. Real who's who of baseball players: Brusdar Graterol, AJ Puck, Kyle Higashioka, and Reese McGuire. I think I nailed Kyle's last name, so I'm pretty proud of myself for that. Now on the side, still we're not going to go either the DHs or CJ Crone. Eleris Montero, no thank you. I don't hate Mason Wynn. I don't think we need a shortstop on the bench, though. Kevin Ginkle isn't a bad pick. Even Brusdar Graterol, if you
I was about to say Graterol, just got a couple more saves there, too.
Yeah, and he could take over the closer role at some point, maybe.
He's got some nasty stuff.
It's not completely out of the question. He does, and he throws
absolute gas.
I've been using him on the show.
He's intimidating
lately. Let's see. We are into the 30th round of the draft. I believe this is the final round of our mock draft. Yes, it is. And with the final pick in our TGFBI mock draft.
Set us up.
I mean,
buddy,
just
who we picking?
Just looking at the suggested guys here, I like Seth Brown. I like Seth Brown going into last year. Injuries kind of messed with him. Batting average is going to suck, but he could hit 25 home runs. He could hit 30 home runs if he stays healthy and gets into a couple extra.
Let's see how we did.
He's an outfielder. Yep. So we'll lock in Seth Brown as our final pick. Watch us do this whole thing, and then we get like a 76 as our draft grade. I was laughing. There we go.
Hey, how about it?
Out of 100.
Good shit.
What a good draft. And then if we go to the cool part about this mock draft simulator is at the end, it'll give you a grade on your draft, how you did. It takes in all of the experts' consensus rankings and things into account to kind of tell you how you did. I am part of that. There are 19 of us. I'm always worried when I click the analyzing thing if it's going to say that I'm one of the people that hates
that
the
you
draft.
just shit on it. Yeah.
Like Blake Meyer, like should draft the least. I'm like, oh, that's crazy because I'm Blake Meyer and I just drafted it. So let's see. It is loading up right now. We got, I'll say tied for first. Cypher's also got a 95.
Well, the
so,
A.
Yancey,
Okay.
you're in fourth with an 89. And then look at that hot take. Blake Meyer, Fantasy Pros, likes your draft more than any other expert. What are the chances of that? That's me. That's crazy.
How about it?
Our team projects to be in the top 5 in runs, home runs, RBI saves, and ERA. That is how you win TGFBI.
That's how you build it.
A few steals. We got Nolan Gorman in the 14th. Says we got him 2 rounds later than he's ranked.
I like that
Josh
Bichette
Peterson.
thing because I was that when we picked Kirby?
Oh. If we drafted Bo Bichette at 3.9 and drafted a pitcher later,
I think that was where we picked
higher. Yep,
Kirby.
that was Kirby.
I'm all right with that though.
Expert opinions. Who can we dunk on right now? Shout out Scott Bogman and Chris Welsh for liking our draft. Frank Amarant, I'm going up against you in Tout Wars. Shout out you for also liking my draft. You don't know it, but you do. Brandon Myers from Rasball does not like my draft. Scott White, you're killing me, Scott. Doesn't like my draft. Mike Mayer, my boss at Fantasy Pros, does not like my draft.
Mike.
I know. That's okay. That's okay with me, though. Pick analysis, you can kind of go down and see everything. Like, look, if we had taken Bo Bichette and Taj Bradley rather than George Kirby and Zach Neto, we would have gone 49 points higher. Bo Bichette and Brian Bayo instead of George Kirby and Michael Garcia would have 47 points higher. Even Bo Bichette and Evan Phillips over George Kirby and Anthony Volpe. I'm not going to lie. I actually like those two better than Kirby and Volpe. We would have been 40
Which other
ones
higher. Do you like more, though? I don't like the Taj
That's
Bradley
really the only one. I don't like
Taj
Bichette and Bradley. Chris Paddock and Bichette, no thank you. I like Rosario better than Paddock. Bichette and Bayo over Kirby and Garcia. I like Kirby and Garcia more there.
Bayo, I like
Altuve and Iglesias.
I think Bayo's got some upside.
I do too, and especially Boston just hired the head of Driveline as a pitching analyst. So
Bichette's a really he's an elite bat. He's premier bat. Really close call though. I don't know. That's tough. I think
where did Bichette
just because
go?
I'm a homer.
Because it's saying the 3rd round, we shouldn't take him.
I'm a homer. I'll take my boy. Like that's fine. I'll live with it. I'll live and die with my.
I think he went not long after us. This is crazy. Okay, so am I missing something here? Oh, never mind. Okay, I'm tripping. Oh my gosh, I thought this was the freaking draft board. Okay, team strengths. Oh my gosh, I was like, Bo Naylor was not a fucking 4th round pick. Okay, no, we're good. We're good.
Draft board is one to the right.
Had a heart attack there for a minute. Oh, there we go. So Bo Bichette. It says we should have took Bo Bichette over George Kirby. We took George
Kirby went Bichette went right after.
1 pick after. Yeah. So either way, yeah. I like our draft though. I like our setup. We've got a very good mix of both hitting and pitching. I mean, it says we had the 2nd overall.
Look at that. That's how you do it, man.
Third in hitters.
How else do you set yourself up?
How
else do you set yourself up?
This is the way to do it. These mock draft simulators are great. They're easy to do. You can do an unlimited amount of them. If you guys want a link to be able to do these, hit me up and I got you with the link. We appreciate everybody stopping by to do this TGFBI kind of mock draft. It's been a blast. We are going to be recording tomorrow also, so we are back to 2 episodes this week. Make sure you guys follow us on all of our socials, at Fake Baseball on Twitter, the Fake Baseball Podcast on Facebook, We're also on YouTube at Fake Baseball Pod. We are absolutely everywhere. We are live on all of those as well. And you guys can follow us at Balake and at DLidell_09. Make sure you guys go check out salariescapsports.com. And until then, we will catch you guys tomorrow.